Yeah, smartphone ownership has increased in cost significantly over the past couple of years. I believe it's about up 35% in 3 years. And it's going to probably continue to increase as these chips get more and more complex to develop and design. If we look at your costs in life, probably behind home ownership and automobile ownership, phones are becoming the next most expensive thing that you own. And so we want to do our part to reduce that, because if we can reduce the cost of phone ownership and reduce the environmental impact, we can allow everybody in the world to own a smartphone for a very affordable price. The average person uses their phone about 12.5% of the day. With Cycle, we can actually allocate the space, the other 80% of the time, to other users. So if you're not using some computational space, we can reallocate that based on demand, and that way it allows us to harness all that power that's just kind of left on the table. If you want to think about it, it's sort of like Uber, right? Your car is only used about 5% of its life, and so the other 95% could be seen as a waste. And this is a similar mindset, right? So when your car is not being used, you can drive people around with Uber and make some side money. Similar idea with these servers, except at a bigger scale and even more efficient. As we work and improve the efficiency, the cost should actually come down quite significantly, allowing our users a more economical experience and helping to reduce our impact on the environment. Well, at a certain point, silicone chips are really just kind of like light switches if you think about the basic level, and you can only make that light switch so small. So at a certain point at the atomic level, you cannot make it any smaller. If it was, say, 1 atom for the pathway, you can't make less than 1 atom. It's not feasible with the current technology. So at a certain point, we will kind of need a solution like Cycle to at least do part of the computing. And in our opinion, it just makes sense to make the full jump and just do all the computing and all the storage on the cloud. Definitely, it's starting to plateau. Moore's law is not as in effect as it once was. And chip makers have had to make some pretty crazy innovations in order to keep up the rate of advance. But I think we're all starting to see the slowdown. If you compare your phone from 2010 to 2015, there's a pretty big difference. If you compare your phone to 2015 and 2020, the difference is starting to look a little less extreme. Definitely a lot of things have been moving to the cloud because it is very convenient. If you want to work together on a dock, it's a lot easier to all go to the Google Doc and work on it on the cloud instead of having to pass this dock back and forth, a USB drive or something like that. So I think we've all seen the trend moving towards browser-based applications. And the great thing with browser-based too is it's cross-platform. Whether you're on iOS, Windows, Linux, Mac, you can all use the same files together at the same time. If we think about data prices back in 2010, which wasn't that long ago, it was prohibitively expensive. I believe a half a gigabyte would have cost you around $40 to $60. I forget the number off the top of my head, but it was very expensive. Now if you want half a gigabyte of data, you can't even get that, I don't think, anymore. You're probably looking at paying about $10 to $15 a month for 2 to 4 gigabytes. So projecting to, say, 2030, we can imagine that 5G data will both be plentiful and very affordable. In fact, it could be 6G at that point. Yes, I would say we have become a very disposable society. Most of our stuff is not designed to last. This is not a new thing. We all know this, and it just keeps getting worse. And so we kind of need to think of a new way to address this problem if we really want to make a difference. Cycle works by running a virtual phone on a cloud supercomputer, and we stream a video of your screen, like a screen recording, and send it to your device where the video is played real time. The input from your device is taken and is sent to the computer to interface in the cloud with the virtual device.